Hey, we got a big surprise for you, Dr. Fred, Dr. Joe, and this is the Chiro Mafia. Why
Welcome to the family.
Chiro Mafia? Yeah, first of all, we're both full Italian, so that's got to be the prerequisite. You got to be at least have something Italian. You got to
Yes.
talk like a this. And
How you doing? Hey.
yeah, yeah, exactly. My grandmother's fat fingers like this in your face. But, Joe and I decided, man, when you look at the world, you look at the profession, there's a lot of people out there. Chiropractic is great, but why has chiropractic survived and why is this the time? Because the principle is truth. And there's no better time, in my opinion, in history than right now for as many people as possible. All you chiropractic leaders and people, your leader, if you have DC behind your name, your leader, to communicate the principle, the purpose, and the lifestyle of chiropractic. So this becomes the primary healthcare for minimally the majority of your patients. Yeah. So I know, Joe, man, you had one of the highest volume principled lifestyle practices in the history of chiropractic. You had like a 400 PVA. I know that, I teach 90%, how to get 90% of your patients into living chiropractic, not just getting their spine fixed, not just fixing their health problems, but actually living the lifestyle with a purpose to affect generations. In other words, because you lived, generations beyond your lifetime are living chiropractic lifestyle because you created a leader, not a patient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. I don't know what's there to add.
You can't add to that. It's exactly right. Exactly right. Yes.
Yeah. So we're here to bring the fuel and the fire and the purpose and the principle and show you how you can build a lifestyle practice.
Yeah. And one of the big stipulations is this, are you treating people or are you caring for them? And regardless of where you guys are at. So some of you guys, want that. Sometimes you hear people talk about principle, you hear them talk about innate, and you're like, well, how do I bring that into my practice? Like, how do I apply it? So those are the things that Fred and I want to bring to you. We want to help you basically marry the philosophy, the principle, what you want, what you love, what brought you to chiropractic, what you love most about chiropractic, but how do you bring that into the practice day to day? How do you communicate that day to day when the average person's walking in and saying, I heard here. Like, how do you connect that? How do you lead them? Like Fred's saying, we're leaders. How do you lead them into that understanding of, hey, this is a lifestyle that's going to improve your life, your family's life, and the next generation and the next generation. And what's Mafia mean? Hey, it's raw, it's real, it's family. There's no bullshit here. We're not going to be sensitive on feelings, and we want to really bring you the raw truth. And that's the type of communication we're going to have. That's the type of people we're going to interview. That's the type of group and family we're going to have. We want to be real and honest with each other, but in the end, we all love each other, right? And Absolutely. We want what's best for everybody. We want what's best for everybody, for sure. So,
and we're doing this because we love you. We love chiropractic principle, and we're here in this time in the world. You are in this time in history.
Exactly.
As a chiropractor. So there's a reason, there's a purpose, and we want to help move from your head to your heart, learn how to not only communicate lifestyle, but more importantly, make a bigger impact than you've ever made before. So
yeah, and give you the confidence, give you the tools, give you the ability. Sometimes you want to do it, you're scared. So being part of a family, the familia here, it's going to give you a little bit extra strength. We're always stronger in numbers, and you're going to make some errors, you're going to make mistakes. Hey, bring that to us. Hey, what can I do? What could I have done differently? All of that. That's what we're going to bring to you. We want you to be able to go to the office and live in full 100% honesty and bring the principle to people. And you know what? In the end, I'll tell you, and Fred knows this better than anybody, when people talk about building a chiropractic practice, you know what you do? You start talking chiropractic. I mean, it's amazing, but sometimes people are shy to talk about it. But in the end, when you talk about it and you talk about, are you adjusting people to treat them, or are you adjusting people to allow them to heal? There's a reason we don't adjust cadavers, right? Because they don't have any life, they can't heal. So you're adjusting people not to fix them, not to treat them. You're adjusting them so that they can heal better, and you remove the interference, allow the expression of innate in the body. That's what it's about. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to bring to you. That's the communication. That's the raw. That's the Chiro Mafia. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. So let's get into some Mafia things here. So first of all, ooh,
I just
there's
gotta bring
big
this
glare,
picture.
man. What is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
somebody getting made.
no, that's
Smacked.
Rocky Marciano and Frank Sinatra right there. That's who
Oh,
that
nice.
is, baby.
There you go, man. Two
That's on
historical
the
Italians.
Borio coaching wall. I got Sid Williams, I got Reggie, I got Didi, I got BJ, and I got Rocky Marciano and Frank Sinatra. All right.
Nice.
I'm
Hey,
just
one of
setting the
these
tone.
days.
I'm just setting the tone.
Yeah, we need to do a tour of the wall.
Exactly.
So let's get into this. So Joe and I decided, man, whoa, nice. Love it. That's the Hall of Fame.
That is, baby.
Yeah, they paved the road that we drive on. So what we decided to start with is the principle of chiropractic. First of all, the principle of chiropractic is universal law. It's a spiritual truth. So regardless of what your belief system is, to be able to, let's put it this way. If your belief system hasn't built the practice that is fulfilling your purpose, then it's a belief system within you that's holding you back. So what we're going to show you is what's the mindset of a lifestyle practice, because it starts with the mindset of the doctor, goes to the mindset of the team mindset of the team goes to the mindset of the patients take the mindset in the community, and that's how you build a practice. So let's look at the principle. We have universal intelligence. It's a universal law. What's another name for universal intelligence? God. Then universal intelligence in us is innate intelligence. What's innate mean? Inborn. It's naturally within us because we are spirit first. So what's another phrase that explains that? Genesis 1:27. We're created in the likeness and image of God. And so now we look at, that's what innate intelligence is. Now, if we look at, let's look at the spine and nervous system. First of all, you can Google this. When you look at the spiritual energy of the spine, it's actually the bridge between heaven and earth. Why is it the bridge between heaven and earth? Well, when we look at quantum physics, there's a whole vibrational frequency. In fact, the vibrational frequency of the earth is called the Schumann resonance. Everything is energy. You guys know everything vibrates. Your nervous system is an electrical system. It has an electromagnetic force around it. And so when you're subluxated, it disrupts that electromagnetic force, which in a sense disconnects you from universal intelligence. It changes the frequency, and that frequency, because it's changed, is not a frequency of healing, it's the frequency of disease. So when it changes the frequency, disease forms. Now, when you make an adjustment, you clear the spine, you open up that energy, you balance you align the electromagnetic frequency with the electromagnetic frequency of the universe, and then that becomes healing. And that's what BJ talks about, is the connection between man, the physical, and man, the spiritual. That's what the adjustment does. That's what fixing the spine does. It literally reconnects you. Now, Joe, I mean, we've all had this. I mean, hey, look, I'm in spinal correction. We want to change curves. That's great. But I've had blind eyes, people that were blind in one eye, one adjustment, and they see. People that were deaf in one ear, one adjustment. I've watched cancer tumors fall off long before I fixed their spine. We watched, we've taken people out of seizures. We've, watched MS people get out of wheelchairs. Like, we can go on and on and on. Why? Because we had faith in the principle. And because we had that faith, and because we realized the whole universe moves through us, and we have a hands-on healing, that you are transferring universal energy. So what does your spine look like? Can you channel all of the universe through your hands, through your body, through your intention? That's the adjustment with the extra something. Because when you choose to be a healer, You're not fixing a translation, all you CVP people. I mean, yes, you are, but what are you doing? You're opening up and relieving stress on the spinal cord that turns that thing into a freaking fire hose that brings healing energy. That's what you're doing. You're a healer. And when you become a healer in your mind, then people will show up to be healed. And that's when you have a big practice.
Exactly. You know, Dee Dee talked about that, the unitol, you know, the unification of man, the physical, and man, the spiritual. So, you know, when you relieve that pressure, he talks about tone, you talk about communication, you talk about expression. That's literally what you're doing. You know, that I make that joke, like, we don't adjust cadavers for a reason, right? Because there isn't spirit, there isn't life, there isn't that force and intelligence that resides in the body that can express itself any longer. So in the end, when you really think about what you're doing, I mean, you have this living system that walks in, whether they're feeling sick or not, they lay on the table, you're placing your hands on them. What are you really trying to do? And it's what you're really trying to do, what Fred's talking about, right? What is your intention? What is your objective in the room? Is it to pop? Is it to get joint cavitation? Is it to adjust an SI joint? Or are you really, is your intention in the room? Are you trying to make that person healthier? Are you trying to make that person heal better? Are you trying to make that person a better reflection of what nature, God, universe had in store for them? And by doing that, they become a better mother, father. They become a better human being. BJ talked about chiropractic as speeding up the evolution of the consciousness of mankind. I mean, so when you go into it with that mindset in the room, what's going to happen, like Fred's talking about, you're a healer, but they know that transfers to them. And then, like Fred's talking about, they become leaders. When they leave your office, are they saying, wow, it's a great office because he helped me with my golf game? Or are they leaving your office going to talk to people saying, wow, this guy made a huge difference in my life. I bring my entire family. We're better off because we see this guy. They start talking chiropractic and chiropractic principles. Getting adjusted is good for you. Getting adjusted makes you healthier. My kids, I want them to live a healthier life. When you start walking into the room with that intention, that's what starts to manifest in the room. That's what they become. And then when they go out, you know, it's easy. We were in Italy not that long ago, and I literally started talking chiropractic. My Italian's not that great. And we literally started talking chiropractic to these guys. And in a matter of a few weeks, I saw 33 people at my house without a telephone, without a Facebook or Instagram. And I adjusted, it was like the fourth or fifth guy. And I adjusted him and he got up and he went, my brain breathes better. That's what he said. It was the most phenomenal. I mean, I just hit that upper cervical, and it was the most phenomenal description of what we do as chiropractors. My brain breathes better. It was just great. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to bring you guys. We want to bring you the mindset like Fred's talking about, because if your mindset's right, nothing can stop you. If your mindset's right, if the fire inside of you is hotter than anything outside, nothing can burn you, nothing can take you down. And what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to be a stronger leader. It's going to allow you to influence more people. It's going to allow you to be a better healer. It's going to allow those people to communicate chiropractic principle better. And then that in turn is what's going to grow your practice for sure.
Well, absolutely. And most people know, I'm highly associated with CVP. And why is that? Because I think we need to fix subluxations, whether you do CVP or anything else. I just think, they know a lot about biomechanics. And so you get these guys who think your job is supposed to fix the spine, if you're doing spinal correction, but why? And so one of the things I used to tell my patients is, look, you're subluxated. Your spinal cord doesn't work normally on its own. So you got to come here 3 times a week so we can jumpstart your nervous system, get you in a healing state long enough that we can correct your spine. And now your spinal cord, you have a healthy spinal cord and nervous system. Now you're connected. Now you have the potential to be who God created you to be. And when that becomes your purpose, are you working for yourself? Are you building a practice? Are you building a practice? Are you building a life for yourself? Or who comes first? When you work for God, then you realize every person that is standing in front of me is standing in front of me for a reason. If you believe the universe has intention, then you can't say, if a person's rubbing their neck in a grocery store, then you have to talk to them. And it's real simple. Hey, why are you rubbing your neck? I mean, and that's, a big practice is a very simple mindset. And Joe, you are the king of simplicity. But when chiropractor becomes your identity, it's not something that I do, it's who I am. So we cannot not talk about chiropractic. And when you vibrate like that, and when you believe that your purpose is everybody that stands in front of you, whether it's 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 years, or 50 years, their life will be better because they interacted with you. Chiropractic automatically comes up. And it's like with you, Joe, I mean, practically every freaking day I don't practice, we're referring to chiropractors. Right. Because they come talking about stuff and chiropractic comes up. We don't even have to initiate it. And so if you have a challenge with new patients, it's because you're a chiropractor in your practice, but you may not have that consciousness 24/7. It hasn't become an identity. And when it becomes an identity and it's in your chromosomes, it's in every space between the DNA, people will come to you because it's what you radiate. You radiate the principle.
Yeah. And we want to give you that strength. I think a lot of people, you want that and you want to get there. It's like, how do you get there? And I think we get beat up both in school, we get misguided when we're in chiropractic school, especially now more than ever. And then, you get out of school and then you're out there. And then again, you're not always welcome with open arms. And then unless you're a metapractor, sometimes, you're misunderstood, or it's tougher sometimes for you to stand out there and really stand for the principle. So that's what we're doing, so we're here truly because we're chiropractors. What's between the molecules of our DNA is chiropractic, right? Absolutely. So that's what Chiro Mafia stands for. We're here to create a family. We're here to create a community. We're here to give you greater strength, greater clarity, improve your communication. We're here to lift you up and reach out with a hand when you fall. And we're here to celebrate when you win. And remember, each one of you, including us, each time we win, we all win. And each time somebody does something special, it gives strength and it gives a brighter light for somebody else to get them out of the darkness so they can do something special. That's what this is about. That's what Fred and I want to bring you guys on a regular basis with this family that we're creating, with this community that we're creating. And we want to be able to speak freely amongst each other, with each other, so that we can lift you guys up and give you the clarity I think that we all need. And sometimes it's what we want to say that maybe we don't say it, or we don't have the communication to say it, or we don't have the strength, courage to say it. That's what this is going to bring in, no doubt.
Well, absolutely. And you just talked about BJ's big idea, right? When one person gets helped, we all get help. Because isn't that the big idea, right? A slip on the ice, a small thing, subluxation, small thing, pinch a nerve, small thing, adjustment, small thing, restoring the energy, healing the organ, small thing. Shifting the consciousness of that person that shifts the consciousness of the universe is a big thing. Do you see that with every adjustment, that you're shifting the consciousness of humanity? When that becomes your purpose, people will come from all over. So please let as many chiropractors know about this as you can. We're going to bring the principle. Today, we're starting with the most basic, to me, principle. So let's give a source for how do we get steeped in the principle if you want to get steeped more. I'll go first. My greatest thing is, who do you believe you are as a spiritual being? To me, the principle and the commitment to the principle is about spirituality. It's about believing. Now I'm going to just quick quote Psalm 139:16. It says, "You knew my days," I'm paraphrasing, "before they were formed." So imagine if you're sitting in the spirit world watching a video, a movie trailer of your life. You're a chiropractor, you're making an impact. You're like, put me in, coach. I want to make a difference. I want to, they're losing faith in pharmaceutical times. You're looking at the video going, man, people don't trust doctors. They don't trust pharmaceutical companies. People are waking up. The whole consciousness of the universe is shifting. I need to go in right now and be a hands-on healer. I want to be a chiropractor. I'm bringing primary chiropractic, primary healthcare to the world. And you said yes. Now, welcome to your soul purpose. Thank you very much. Here we go. You have to be steeped in spirituality. I mean, would you agree, Joe? You look at all the high volume guys, and I'm not saying why they're high volume, but every person that sees a lot of people, they're all spiritually based.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at I remember Chris Zano was speaking at an event, Fred, and I was sitting up front. And I remember Chris looked at me and he said, "Hey, Joe, like, what's your thought? Like, what motivates you?" And with chiropractic. And I said, it's a requirement and a necessity to get chiropractic care. Everyone is neurologically compromised. There's no health in stuck. There's no health in crooked. And if you really dive deep into what is going through those nerves, if you really think about it, and that's what Dee Dee and BJ did, right? And Stevenson, they sat there and they just kept thinking about, like, what's going through there. Okay, you got electrochemical. Where does that come from? Like, you and I are talking to each other. Where the hell does that even come from? We're having a conversation. Where does that originate from? So when you look at what that really is, and when I turn that down or disconnect it, this immediately becomes disorganized, and I rot out in the front yard, right? So if that's the way it is, then the opposite would be true. The more connected I am, the more motion, the more vibration, the better expression I become of what I've been intended to be. And that source comes from God. That's universal intelligence. So if we know that and we remove that interference, then we become a true representation, or certainly the closest representation of what we're meant to be, that expression from God through universe, through innate. And that's what ultimately, that's really what it is you're doing. So if you look at any human being, and there's 90% of them out there, they're not getting adjusted regularly. They're subluxated. They're in a state of dis-ease. They're in a state of less expression. They're not connected to mankind. They're not connected to their consciousness, and they're not connected to God. And when you look at that, to go really deep, isn't that where we're running into problems with the world? Isn't that where we're running into problems with society? Isn't that why we don't treat each other the way we're supposed to? Isn't that running into the difficulty when you look at political and money and all aspects of it? So when you really look at what the principle is, what the philosophy is, and you start living your life through that principle and that philosophy, you got to understand, innate doesn't make mistakes. Innate is 100% loving and caring and giving. So if we know that, and the universe is driven by universal intelligence, universal law through God, then everything we do has an intention. And knowing that there's an intention, following that intention, you're then going to live that life through chiropractic principle. That's the way I always see it when I'm in the room. I'm living life through chiropractic principle. That's what I'm doing when I touch them, when I'm thinking, that's transferring to them. What am I trying to do? What's my intention? What's my objective? Trying to make them a better human being, a better expression. They don't need to always get it. I'm not trying to make you, as the practice member, a chiropractor, but I'll tell you what, the more you get it, the more they're going to get it. If I don't get it and I walk in the room, they're not going to get anything. But if I get it and I just submerge, I always hear people say dip. I never agree with that. I say submerge yourself into the principle. Then when you're in the room every day, everybody gets a little touch of something else special. And that's going to give them strength and leadership to talk about what you do in your practice each and every day. So.
Absolutely. And we got to run here in a minute. And what I just want to say is, what's the chiropractic principle? That we are divinity walking in humanity.
Yeah.
We're divinity walking in humanity. When you believe that about yourself, you're going to want to help people become conscious of that within themselves. Now you can only have a big practice. So
let me interrupt you quick too. I hear I was just talking to some docs recently on a call, and Fred, obviously you do that as well, mentor, lead, coach. And when I look at that, everyone kind of gets hung up on sales. And I always tell people, you're not selling, you're helping people. I mean, granted, there's a transaction that needs to occur, but you're helping somebody. You're helping them lead a better life. You're leading them to make better decisions. You're leading them and their family to live a healthier life, better connected, better health, better mom, better dad, better kids, better grandpa. I mean, in the end, that's what you're doing. You're helping people live a better life. So the more you own that when you walk into the room, I'm not selling anybody anything. I'm helping you lead a better life.
Absolutely. So real quick, whatever, in my opinion, whatever spiritual source gets you more grounded, whether it's in your religion or, you know, reading A Course in Miracles or Deepak Chopra stuff or whatever, you know, whatever you need right now, get steeped in becoming conscious
Yeah.
of who you really are, so you can bring that to other people. So that would be my first advice on the principle. Is there a source? Or real quick, what would you say? How would you direct people?
Yeah, Giant versus Pygmy. I love that book. It was actually a brochure by BJ Palmer, and that Freddie Barge took it over. It talks a lot about the metaphysical aspect of it. I love that. And the second one is Chiropractic Textbook. I mean, it is a textbook. So, you know, Rob Sinnott ended up writing another version of that. But when you get either version, when you read a chapter, it's going to ask you some questions. So it gives you a little bit of a step-by-step learning, understanding, confidence, clarity, communication. So those are two great places that I would that I recommend that you can get a little bit more strength, get a little bit more communication for sure.
Cool. Hey, we're going to post this video. We have a Chiro Mafia Facebook page. Please interact with us on there. We'll be doing stuff on there. We're going to be doing more of these. Obviously, this is going to be around for a while, man. We start with the principle. We're going to build a foundation, and we're gonna build a big house, if you want to call it,
No doubt.
a whole estate actually that we can all move together.
Yes, and we're going to be, and listen, this is fun too. So Chiro Mafia brings to it a lot of seriousness to it, family, principle, a tight connection, but we're going to have fun too. So we're going to be making some jokes. We're going to have some fun amongst each other as friends and family. And you know, we're going to talk about lasagna recipes and meatball recipes, and you know, food has got to be part of the Chiro Mafia. I mean, if we're not talking food, I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying?
It's all good. All right, you guys, love you. Go to the Chiro Mafia Facebook page and please interact. We love you all, and let's create an amazing family, and let's make a bigger impact in the world today with chiropractic principle than ever before. Love you guys.
Absolutely, and an honor to be part of the journey with you, Dr. Fred.
Awesome, brother. Peace.